Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our first live on this page. So exciting. We're the Skin Collaborative. We're a group of very passionate skin professionals with varied specialisms who come together to educate and inspire the public around all things skin. Today, we are talking about filters. Apps like Instagram and Snapchat use beauty filters, which can help to smooth your skin, slim down your face, and even enlarge your lips. And people are using these on a daily basis. What's even scarier is that companies use filters and retouching to advertise their products to you to make you want to buy them. So let's have a debate about filters. Maria, what's your take on filters?
Well, I just wanted to start with some statistics, if I may, which I did a little bit of Googling, good old Google. And in 2020, the Women's Inequalities Commission, they polled under 18s and they found that social media is the number one influencer for how kids are feeling about themselves, young adults are feeling about themselves. And when 34% of that population is spending 5 hours or more a day on the internet, that's quite a worrying statistic. It's starting to show that kids are starting to be conditioned to the actual information that they're consuming, the imagery that they're consuming. But it doesn't just end there. Apparently, according to mentalhealth.org, 1 in 5 adults also feel that the imagery that they're consuming is affecting the way they feel about their body image. And going on from that, again, on the same website, 87% of women compare themselves to the images they see, and 50% of those actually compare themselves unfavorably. So we're kind of starting to see a whole picture emerge about what people are seeing, what people are consuming, is actually starting to have a really negative effect on the way people feel about themselves.
Anna, tell me your take on filters.
Yeah, sorry, I was just having a moment there. Was I muted? Wasn't I? Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Anna. So we were talking, as Sam had mentioned on Friday, about filters, and it's such a big topic, really. I mean, personally, my take on it is that I feel that it goes way back further, way beyond or way before filters were a thing. You've only got to look at glossy magazines and TV ads and campaigns. What's scary is the facts behind those images are that they have always been touched up. They've always been, legs have been made to look longer, blemishes have been removed. And that was actually something that was never discussed for many, many years, or outed, if you like. So I think that we've been misinformed and misled and, misrepresented for many, many years, way before filters even came along. And what's quite scary about this manipulation is that now that we have the power to change the way we look in the palm of our hands, young people have that power, and it's like giving a toddler a chainsaw. It's so dangerous, and I think it is really, really worrying. But I think we've been conditioned for many years on this, accepting that we are filtering images, but now it's more real than ever. So
yeah, so my as a mum of sort of 10-year-old twin girls, I'm quite passionate about the whole filtering images and trying to keep things more natural, simply because I don't want them growing up in this world where we are fed like the fake images, the unrealistic image. These kids are going out into the world and thinking that they need to look like all these celebrities and the social media influencers that are online. I've got friends whose 4 and 5-year-olds are watching makeup tutorials on YouTube. They're seeing those social media influencers giving them this fake image that they can be something that they're not. And really, we need to be encouraging our children to just embrace their natural self and their own uniqueness and what they actually look like, and not worrying that their eyebrows are a funny shape, or like me, they've got breakouts. It's just about being you, and you can be proud to show up as yourself. You don't need to have this this filtered image. And we talked about it the other day. I'm really scared about people. We've been in these bubbles for so long. You've got to go out into the public. The filter isn't going to follow you. You're not going to be able to have that filter when you go out and you're going to work or meeting up with people. Eventually, when we can go to the pub, those filters aren't going to follow you around. So we need to just be mindful of it, and how it affects us and our children.
Kath, you've got an older daughter, haven't you? How do filters affect her?
Oh, on a daily basis. She must take about 10 or 15 pictures before she chooses the one that she wants. And then she'll, enhance it, maybe enhance her lips or make her face look slimmer. And she's beautiful. Everybody says she's beautiful. She doesn't need to do this. And I love it when I see pictures of her on my phone where she's just natural. But children today, they've just got so much pressure to look good, and to look good within their own age range. So that means basically balancing everything out in your skin to make you look like, one of the celebrities or the influencers. And when they go out, obviously they're losing confidence because that's not what they look like to other people. So they feel like they need to hide. And I just feel like it's up to us as a generation of people that weren't brought up with filters, just to educate them, really, just to say you don't need all this, just be natural, just be yourself, and your confidence will come.
Yeah, I've got an older daughter as well, Kath, and I feel exactly the same way that you do. My daughter's grown up as a freestyle dancer, so I've seen it a bit more than the filters as well. So from a very young age, she was following all of the people doing the makeup tutorials and everything. So she's been wearing full dance makeup since she was probably about 10. And so we see so many different faces that the kids are growing up. They're adapting themselves, but they're not always adapting themselves in the right way. So we're seeing them with big faces of makeup, or we're seeing them with the filters on. But the problem is, like some of the others said, is it's about when we go outside, we can't take those with us. So it's not a realistic image of themselves, and that's creating mental health problems, and it's causing things like anorexia, body dysmorphia. I've got a niece who's struggled. I've got a few friends, children who've struggled as well. And the filtering is becoming a big part of it, because it's like they set up their own, they've got this false expectation of themselves that they can't then live up to. So they're never going to be as good as their filtered photo. And it's really affecting them, I think.
It's not just girls either, it's boys. I mean, I'm the mum to three teenage children. My eldest is a boy. And, you think it would just be the girls, but he's so self-conscious, and he's constantly critiquing himself in photos. A bit like Kath was saying, he goes through 15 pictures before he can choose the one he wants to put out there to the world. And it really is creating a mental health crisis, and as Kat said, particularly through this time where we've been living in a bubble, hiding, and that's the only image that's gone out to the real world. So yeah, when we all come out, it's a bit of a worry what the impact is going to be.
People might think that we're not like the whole cat filter or something, people are doing crazy things with filters, aren't they? But it's when it starts to really impact on that that natural image, and people want to look at, I don't know, enhancing lips. We talked about that, didn't we, the other day? Raquel was talking about really how we need to be approaching younger people wanting those enhanced faces.
Yeah, and I can. It's a good reminder, Kat, because have as I was explaining, I do have patients that come to me, being an aesthetic doctor, saying that they want Kardashian lips, or they show me a picture of a celebrity or influencer on Instagram, say, can I have these lips? Can I have these cheeks? And I have to have this conversation with them, which is, we have to respect your anatomy. We're not all the same. I can't make your lips look like someone else's lips. And try to explain them that what we've got is beautiful. Obviously, we can enhance, but I'm very, very reluctant of doing it so, especially in young girls and young boys. I do have boys asking me for fillers as well. So like Maria was saying, it's not only girls that are affected by it, but also the boys. So it's really important to make sure when we have young patients coming to us, to to make sure they know it's okay, it's normal. And I only ever treated them if, for example, they have very, very, very thin lips and I can see that is affecting the mental health. I have the consent from the mom as well when doing these treatments, and we all have a conversation together to understand that if it's actually the best way forward to have these treatments done. So it shouldn't ever be taken lightly.
Do I think it's really important as well to think about, it's not just about sort of the aesthetic side, is it? It's about the skin health. And as an acne sufferer myself, I will hold my hand up and say that I have used filters to try and make my skin look better to the outside world. And it's the sort of message that we've got with this whole The Face Behind the Filter International Women's Day campaign that made me almost think, why am I covering up what I naturally have? Yes, okay, I have acneic skin, I have a problematic skin, but it just, as skin therapists, it passes that message on, doesn't it? That we, or skin professionals, it passes that message on that we all suffer, we still struggle with our skin. Everybody here has got that struggle, and it makes us more approachable as skin therapists and skin specialists, because people can actually see that we have those same anxieties and those same problems. Speaking to people, young girls, about breakouts, and I'm really trying to get this whole management thing. So it's a management of their skin. It's not a quick fix. We can't just click our fingers and your skin's going to be better.
Just wanted to add in there, I think that managing expectations is key in that part, especially as skin professionals, because our clients see these images coming from the advertisers. They see influencers on social media and in the media itself presenting this perfect image, and they think one facial or one treatment is walk out of there with perfection, and they can't quite understand why that doesn't happen. We're here to say there is no one quick fix, one size fits all. Every skin is unique. Every skin has to be treated differently. And actually, you have to be realistic. And even then, there is no such thing as perfection. At the end of the road, you will never get that flawless image because it just doesn't exist. And as Kat, to echo what Kat said, as skin professionals, I think it's really key that we show our faces and show the truth, really.
I think we're going to hear from Shabana, but I thought it might be quite a nice time to just add in here and just say hello to everyone that's watching. So I'm just following who we've got, and we've got some amazing other ladies from the Skin Collaborative. We've got Liz, Teresa, we've got Tracy, we've got Anita, Sarah. Hi to you, ladies. We've got some other people watching as well, though. So hello to Louise, hello to Leanne. We've got Fiona, and I must just mention what Fiona's popped on here in the comments. She's popped in that her son doesn't so much use filters, but in the past he has bought slimming pills from Amazon. Oh my goodness. He didn't actually use them, but he is heavily influenced by social media, and he and his friends feel that they have to look a certain way to be accepted. Oh, it's heartbreaking. Hearing things like that. And Amazon is just such a scary place for these non-regulated, sometimes, I mean not always, but non-regulated pills, diet pills and things. It's just that could be a whole other topic for us to discuss. It is really, really frightening. Lots of people giving us lots of positive feedback saying we're amazing. Well, back at you, everyone that's watching. So, and I'll just give you one little stat. There is an app called Facetune, and that is literally for tuning and fine-tuning the way you look, which is, you know, frightening. And basically they have reported that up to 1.5 million doctored images come out of Facetune every single day. So that's quite a scary statistic for you. Shabana, do you want to come in there with your story?
Yeah, hi everyone. So my experience really is more of my personal experience, and I think growing up, you know, when I was young, there wasn't any filters, and I wasn't allowed any makeup either. So I grew up watching Bollywood, and I would often buy a lot of the glossy magazines. And looking at those beautiful glossy pictures of those actresses, I really felt like, you know, that's what I needed to look like. I kind of thought in my mind that, you know, maybe that's how I should aspire to look like, and it really affected my confidence growing up as well. But more so when I opened my own business, I wouldn't go on social media. I wouldn't show myself. You know, I'd post things, but you wouldn't see me. You wouldn't see who I am. And coupled with my skin issues as well, I think it really affected my mental health. I was kind of like so reluctant for other people to judge how I looked like, because of how I felt my self-esteem and confidence issues. It affected me as an adult as well. So I really was, you know, not wanting to go put any pictures up of myself, not put any sort of like do any lives. And I just think that distorted image that I had in my mind, it took a long time for me to get out of that sort of like mind, like that mental sort of like block that I need to really sort of like drop that and just kind of accept myself. And I think what's really helped is, especially you ladies, and you know, the kind of people that have been around, it's really sort of like encouraged me to kind of like embrace my flaws. And like what Kat was saying, I've got an oily skin, I break out. And the last thing that I want someone to kind of say to me is, you know, if you've got skin issues, then how can you help someone else? But the reality is, a lot of people that have skin issues, you know, it is got to be a manageable condition, and it's not something that's going to go away, like the ladies said. So yeah, for me, just that whole personal experience, you know, it really affected how I grew up, looking at the magazines and everything. I don't use filters now. I just put myself out there however I am. You know, I'm ready to embrace that naturalness, because that's just me, and I'm ready to kind of like accept that now. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say.
Big love to you, Shabana. And if anyone was listening to the Clubhouse the other night, I think we all welled up, didn't we, when you told your story? Something as well that I want to share is I went for a socially distanced walk with a friend the other day, and she wanted to take a selfie with me, and her new phone will only do a selfie with a filter on it. And I was like, I don't look like me. That doesn't look like me. How crazy is that? They're making phones where they automatically put a filter on it. It's terrifying. So what can we do about this, girls? What can we do to make people stop using filters and using Facetune and retouching? Where can we go from here?
Well, there is hope. It's quite promising, actually. There's quite a lot going on at the moment. First and foremost, we're starting to see people with skin issues come out and actually start posting the real them without filters, without makeup even, which I think helps reach out to people who are suffering with skin conditions. Acne springs to mind, rosacea springs to mind. So I think that's very, very positive, that people don't feel that they're on their own. We saw the change in the Advertising Standards Agency. They've now brought in regulation that you can't use misleading images with filters, which I think is very, very promising. There are other campaigns. There's the Filter Drop campaign, and obviously there's our campaign, Face Behind the Filter. I think at the end of the day, we're all wanting the same thing, people to not feel judged in any way and be allowed to just be themselves. perpetuating eventually. You know, it creates a whole circle of viciousness, really. But the other thing I wanted to point out was there's a draft bill, Evans MP, and what he's looking to bring in is some kind of labelling on manipulated images. So I think, girls, that's quite keen to get behind, isn't it? That you know, I think if people know that the images they look at aren't real in the first place, their expectations are different to, you know, if they believe what they're really consuming. So yeah, very, very positive, and there's lots coming. It's really, really good to see.
And how do filters affect older people as well? I actually saw my mum at the weekend. She's in my bubble. It's like we have to justify, don't we? And she said, what, sorry? And she said, she said, oh, can you put a filter on my Zoom for my Zoom calls? Like my mum, who's like 65, asked for a filter.
I didn't realise you could do that until my son had a singing lesson at the weekend, and I went into the advanced settings on Zoom, and that's really scary that you can actually like filter and change what you look like on Zoom. Like to that point, I didn't realise that you could do the same thing in Zoom that you can do on a photograph. I think that's quite scary. But older people, shall we say, I think definitely what I see in my clinic is people, of a certain age, maybe, I don't know, 60s, 70s, coming in and almost thinking like, well, they want to have this eternal youth. They want to look like they're in their 30s rather than embracing that growing old gracefully. You know, we talk about growing old gracefully all the time, don't we? And I think just sort of those filtered images, like what Raquel was saying, you've got the older generation as well, surely, that are coming into your clinic wanting like so many procedures to try and make them look like pictures of celebrities and famous people that we see online all the time. But because that older generation maybe aren't as au fait with filters and the fact that filters are applied everywhere, it's like they actually think it's really real, and they want this quick fix, and they don't quite realize A, how much it might cost to look like that, but B, that it is that they are filtered images and they're retouched. You know, they're not. We don't all have long necks and absolutely porcelain skin. We have open pores, we have wrinkles, we have smile. Like, do you know what I mean? That's part of being human, surely, that we are going to age at some point.
I think you're absolutely right, Kat. And I think we haven't mentioned this, and I think I also didn't mention this in the clubhouse, is I don't know if you come across a lot in your clinic, but it's something called body dysmorphia, which is a severe mental health problem.
Yeah.
And what I tend to find, luckily I haven't encountered many, but I have studied the subject quite deeply. And what we tend to find is actually people that use filters, people that have their expectations are not real. So it's actually very important, and being professionals, it's also our job to try to see if these people suffer from it. If we suspect, refer to their GPs. We have to have this conversation. It's a very uncomfortable conversation. There are forms that can be done to try to diagnose the condition, but it's a red flag. So when we see someone coming to us, and like Kat said, if they come to me and they want to look 30, if they're 60, I know something is not right, and I will try to explore. And if I feel they need a little bit of help in terms of mental health, then I will definitely refer. I just wanted to point that out as well.
I've seen something today actually about a client, not one of my clients, it's somebody else's client, who is like has got more of an Asian skin, and has been applying certain products unprescribed to his skin for quite a long time. And I think there's this this false imagery isn't just, and we've said it before, it isn't just young females or older females, it is affecting men, it's affecting all ethnicities, it impacts everybody. And this is an inclusive message. That's what the Skin Collaborative is all about. It's about inclusivity within, we're just looking at skin. Slightly going off topic there, sorry, but it just came into my head.
No, you're absolutely right, Kat. And I don't know if anyone's seen, if not, worth seeing, something called Social Dilemma on Netflix as well. It is all about the same thing, isn't it? I think what we need to do, and like we're doing, is awareness, and hopefully at some point, people start realizing that all these filters in social media are just not good for anyone, young, old, it doesn't matter, it affects everyone, right?
100%. I just wanted to add to that, it's very subtle. It's a gradual cumulative thing that really gradually starts weighing on people. So when we start to see positive imagery, for example, the Dove campaign, where they started to use real women in their campaigns, it starts to set that positive tone. And off the back of that, they had such great success that now they don't actually use any filtered images in any of their campaigns. So the more that we start to see that positive imagery out there, the more we're going to start to see a change. And I think all of us can agree that that is definitely the way forward. Start with the imagery, and then we don't get the impact in the same way on people's mental health.
Also, my top tip that I always tell my clients is I say, oh, have you got a magnifying mirror? They go, oh, I have, thinking they've done good. I'm like, I want you to throw it away. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'll do your eyebrows. I don't want you to look at your skin that closely. I think they're evil. So if anyone's got one, chuck it away. And if there's any skin professionals, tell your clients to chuck them away as well. Has anyone got any last bits to add? And then I think we'll wrap it up for today. We want to keep this nice and short and sweet for you all. Any final words from anybody?
I just want to add, for International Women's Day, stay positive. We are all wonderful. We're all amazing. We're all doing a great job, and enjoy your day.
And don't forget to post your selfies. There's a post on the page. It's pinned to the top. If you can take an unfiltered selfie, post it to the in the comments with the hashtag the face behind the filter. If you're on Instagram, tag us in there. It's at the Skin Collaborative, and get involved. Take part, and let's show everybody how amazing and strong women can be.
But also, if you do feel like you've got any issues or problems and you really don't know where to go with it, before you press that filter button, press the connect button to us and just send us a message. There's 20 of us here and we're all here to help you.
We are, and that's why we came together. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to my gorgeous panel today, who are all unfiltered. And we will be back on Clubhouse on Friday evening at 7 p.m. We're talking about spring skin, and then we will be doing a rerun of all our Clubhouses every Monday on here for everyone that isn't on Clubhouse. So massive thank you to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you all very soon.
Bye.